The worker is in a deep slumber. You see a heavy steel door.
Yes?
Tremble. The time is now. Ta'ola. Time for the show. For Ta'ola. The hallowed time of fear and disintegration. A countdown has begun. All will collapse on itself. The world will disappear into a single grain of blackness. All sound will be muted. O ulogu theodos, xino zausin, ipoli osivien, echondes fronisin. Monday morning, the moment you arrived in this reality, are the first crack in the sheer face of God. From you it will spread. Yes, you spoke the words of the palindropos and the houses of Pericarnassus. Items, people, even words will tumble. All will lose its meaning in the coming years. That is why you marked yourself. It's totally also a coping mechanism. Okay, yes, maybe it is just the hangover talking. You see a heavy steel door with a prominent dimple lock. The door does not budge. The cobalt blue, old cobalt paint, rough on the finger. It leads to a side building, adjacent to this one. The old building next to this, half ruined. Whatever is behind it must be older. You see, the old cobalt, it leads to a side building. The door does not.
Can I help you? Another thing. Great. I love those. Yes. Yes. Have you got it? You must be joking, right? You come here, trash everything, and now you try to... This isn't a game show. I'm not going to accept it.
You can cash it in at the local frit near the harbor gates, though it might not be enough to cover it.
Yes.
The door is closed. This door can only be opened with a key of... The door is closed.
Yes?
Hello again, sweetie.
Fuck does Kuno care? The fuck about it? You're testing Kuno's patience? Get lost! Yeah, the kingdom of Kuno. The fuck do you want with it? No, it's not.
He thinks you're fucking...
Get the fuck out of here, pig. Yeah, whatever. Kuno doesn't give a shit. Kuno's Kuno. You already know that slow shit. Kuno thinks you're a brick.
Kuno, stop!
Ease off, see. Don't be telling Kuno what Kuno can do. Kuno doesn't...
There he still is, looking right through you with his white eyes. The body below is entirely dedicated. Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and the soft glow of the fuel preheat. As you tap on the gauge, the indicator pin.
No. That's enough fun with the foldable headlights. I know.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you? It will take just a moment, officer.
Her voices fade out into the familiar.
Gottlieb, what do you want?
He's carelessly chewing on a piece of hard candy.
Oh, it's you. Hard to tell exactly what it was over the phone. Could be a combination of peripheral neuralgia and... Or, actually, it could be both, given your profile. Yep. Yes, probably in...
He sounds very careless about it all. Positively breezy. You're detecting very little in the way of empathy from...
Cut down on the drinking, pal. In fact, cut off the drink.
Oh, but speed. Sweet speed. It goes so well with alcohol, too.
And you survived it. Congratulations. Even better. Anything else? I wouldn't worry about that. Officers your age have coronary trouble all the time. Also, death is a natural part of life. That's because you're hungover. Even the radio waves coming from your direction smell like liquor. Do you feel like your eyes are twitching too? That's the tiny vessels pulsating from high blood pressure, stupid officer. You might be sustaining permanent damage to your vision as we speak. No, the busy kind. It's not life-threatening, just annoying for you. I've got... With all the damage you've been dealing yourself with drugs and alcohol, I'm not surprised. What else? I'm not a brain doctor. Look on the bright side, you've got a whole new life now.
It's hard to say if he doesn't believe you or doesn't care.
Firewalker? Oh, yes, you are. Just don't do exactly that. Put yourself out of your misery. Take a deep, diaphragmatic breath in and... I'm the most serious person at the station, detective. Now, do you have any current pressing? Look, pal, getting pumped and dumped is not a disease. People live through it all the time. You should be happy for her. That's what the guys say, officer. That some chick pumped you and then dumped you, threw you away like an empty juice carton. You must have me confused for a close personal friend. I am not. I am a medical professional with a constant idiot emergency.
One needs tending to right now, he thinks, looking around the room. God, these apes. You hear someone whine in the background. My eye, Doc, my eye.
What? You want me to do blood work for you again? Tell you just how bad things really are across the board? You want another rundown of everything collapsing inside your body? You want the real, honest-to-God truth? Stop drinking, eat magnesium and vitamin D. Our station is not a retirement home. We don't have the funds to deal with rock stars past their prime.
So it's political. You're being neglected because of political reasons.
And no, I don't want to hear a political commentary on the topic. In fact, I got work to do. Some idiot has glued his eyelids shut with cyanoacrylate.
It's not fucking cryoacrylate. It's super glue, Doc.
Anything else I can help you with, officer? Of course. What is her number, officer?
Yes, hold on. Her number is 0051.
Received. Hold on, officer.
Lieutenant Kitsuragi slowly begins to tap a little rhythm.
Officer, I have Sylvie Malaika on the line for you. Yes, hello? Oh, right. Hello, officer. What?
You can hear resentment in her tone. She's not thrilled to be. There is no resentment in her tone. She wants you to ask her out. No question about it.
You mean, why did I leave the bar? Honestly, I'm not really comfortable discussing it with you, sir. Let's just say I left because I needed to get away from someone. You know whom? Maybe, I don't know. No, not me. What? Of course it bothered me. But I thought the Union already knew about the corpse. No one calls the police. The Union would get angry. You know, what the Union says goes. People listen to them and they take care of their own, which is like everyone here. I didn't want to get in trouble with the others.
Push her further. Show her the error of... No, don't push her. It sounds as if she's about to cry.
You do? Oh. What else can I do for you? No, sorry. I don't. Not a lot of people have phones around here. Copper thieves take the wires. People don't have the money to have the cables put in again. They use the Union's phone, or the one...
It was someone else. We'll find them sooner or later, officer. It just might take a while.
Yeah, go on. Yes, I know who you are. You're a police officer. The law. You told me back in the whirling. You told everybody, and so does your badge. I don't need to hear about it anymore. Oh, no, I haven't.
Real policemen have uniforms too, by the way. Where's yours? Yes, you absolutely should. It's awful that you lost it. It feels like you haven't worn yours in a long, long time.
Uniform? I never saw you in any uniform. You had your things on. The disco things. Please, no. Not this again. Everyone saw your cool gun, detective. You were trying to impress some people with it. Everyone was eating, and... you were waving it around in everyone's face, begging them to describe it. You said it calms you, and then you started making suicide...
Some poor sod was trying to eat his pudding while you were screaming, spit flying, imitating the mercy shot right next to him. Spat some in his food. I don't think he touched it after.
Me neither. No idea. All I know is next you were waving around money instead, saying things like big butts cannot lie and guns can't buy money, but money can always... It almost looked like you pawned it. But believe me, I did not ask. Well, you tried to jam it down the toilet, sir, clogging it completely. After I had unclogged the toilet and retrieved the paperwork, I threw it out in the trash. I am sorry about that. Anything else, detective? I do hope so. Please, don't call me again. Bye.
Yes, you have obviously done something to upset her at the Whirling in Rags, when she was still working there.
I'm not mad, it's just... You were so drunk and so emotional all the time, and then the skua thing happened. Just made me want to quit. Yes, obviously. You were the worst client I've had sailors fighting, union guys grabbing my ass, kids stealing booze. Once a guy was glued to the karaoke machine every night for 2 months. Well, you were worse than all of them. Honestly, even about little things like not turning down the volume at 3 a.m. I even liked one of those songs you kept listening to on repeat. No more. I hate it now. We Go On by the O.O. I can't listen to it anymore. You've turned it into a parody. To hell with that song. Then there was your room. Your project. An experiment to see. I tried to send the cleaner, but you wouldn't let me. Threatened to make me understand. I had no idea what you meant. And then you screamed something about the end of all times and how everyone is a piece of shit. And then I had to deal with your toilet. The one you clogged with police documents. I won't even mention you waving your gun around, harassing customers, threatening to sing karaoke, threatening to kill yourself. No, you really weren't. You were simply the worst. God, I knew I shouldn't have brought it up. Just try not to call me again, and let's pretend it never happened. The stuffed bird, the great skua. You threw it against the wall while screaming, "Fuck that bird." I think you said it had been giving you shit ever since you got there. It was a pretty bird, there since I started working in whirling. I really liked it.
There's genuine sadness in her voice. You hear a sigh of relief on the other end of the radio. Wordless, the call breaks. Then, the already...
Anything else I can help you with, officer? Right.
10-4, come in. Fireworker, over. Ten-4, I hear you. I don't have...
What does he want now?
He's asking for money.
Is he fuck?
I don't think...
Don't give that asshole anything.
Right. That's a negative on the additional funds, over. He says he's in trouble.
Well, I guess he'd better crack the case.
Vigmar said... He says it's important.
He isn't getting arrested.
Request denied, sir. Over. He said... It's okay.
What is he saying?
Did you want anything else, sir? Many of your colleagues are also here. Over. Let us address them now, sir. Over. Okay.
Wait. Before you say anything stupid, think it through. Be smart about this. Ask if he's there.
10-4, sir. I'm not hearing your question. That's a negative, sir. I got a 10-12 here. Over. Ten-4, well...
Does he actually want something, or is he help?
He asked if he ever told me about his days before joining the...
For God's sake, cut this shit out! Tell him.
Sir, satellite officer Vic. So, was there anything else? Understood, sir. Over. Roger that, 10...
We should think about calling it a day, maybe. The nicest... You should take care of that, then. Let's talk to him anyway. An officer of the RCM shouldn't be sleeping in the street.
Though he finds this situation frustrating, he is doing his best to...
Can I help you? Yes. Have you got it? Does that arrangement include you paying me what we already agreed you owe me?
I understand your predicament as the manager. However, I feel I must remind you that we are here to conduct an important investigation that also...
Forgive me for saying this, but your colleague seems more committed to drinking, and I mean no offense. It's really nothing personal. I just have to protect the interests of this establishment. Good luck trying to use it.
Draconian measures.
All the locks have an electronic component. They have to be unlocked down here with a master key before your guest key. Not until you bring me the money.
Okay, I might have something in my motor carriage we can use when you're done here.
I really didn't want to resort to this. The man is thinking...
Oh, Lieutenant, we're done here. Yes, have you got it? Does that arrangement include you paying me what we already agreed you owe me? Game? Everything is just a game to you, isn't it? Not until you...
Okay, I might have something in my motor...
I really...
Oh, Lieutenant, we're... Yes, have you got it? Does that arrangement include you paying me what we already... What about what I have been through, huh? You're not the goddamn protagonist of this story.
Literary demotion. That's the worst.
Not until you bring me the money.
Okay, I might...
I really...
Oh, Lieutenant.
There he still is, looking right through you with his white eyes. The body below is entirely dedicated to that corpse smell. Emitting it is all it does now. As you breathe in, the odor comes over you. It's a smell of the mind telling you to run, and your stomach to wring itself empty. With your hands at your sides and your eyes squinting, you stand in it.
They do after 7 days.
The man before you is naked, but for a pair of underpants and enamel boots. His skin is greenish, marbled with decaying veins, and blotched by lividity. A fading web of tattoos covers his chest and shoulders. The cargo belt used to fasten him to the branch above appears industrial in strength. The material appears to be ceramic. Its clean white stands in stark contrast to the decaying flesh above the knee. The man wore thick polymer socks, probably for padding. A fine array of interlocking plates, covered delicate and fragile. They feel alien to the world around you. These are clearly not boots. They're armor, possibly part of a larger set.
Indeed. Technically speaking, these are sabatons, not boots. ceramic plate. Zirconium dioxide, most likely. This is where the make would be. Under the hill. Fair weather. Fair weather model T500 VE. I'm guessing that's vitreous enamel. This is advanced stuff. Piece by piece. He's been out here for 7 days. We should keep a lookout for these species. The armor could yield information. This is one thing he might actually know.
The Sabatons dangle off the man's decaying form, ageless and synthetic.
It is. It's expensive. We've requested similar material for our tactical units for years now. The constabularies deemed it too costly. For a full set, about 4 years of wages. As a wage, it's regrettably small. But for a piece of hardware, yes, that's a lot. That's for us to find out. My initial report on the area suggests he was a security guard for the harbor company. But that's just something I scraped together from my station. An area report on Martinez. I'm sure you did the same.
He's not actually sure of that. He's just being tactful.
I agree. This equipment is way beyond what a guard can afford.
A small bell-like sound fills the air, like
It's anything but. This material is a kinetic redistributor. It spreads kinetic energy horizontally, from plate to plate, dissipating.
faint organic lines cover the plates where they separate into smaller ones, like whirls of floorboards. The design looks organic, influenced by highly resistant wood materials, like lignum vitae and ebony, perhaps. If trees were made of porcelain, this is what their cross-sections would look like. The smooth, glossy surface fractures into ever more intricate interconnections, peaking on the right Sabaton, where you notice. The whirls are in the shape of a letter and number combination, E50, 100, 1000.
Good. Can you read it to me? We have a make and a number. That's something. We can use the radio in my kinema when we're done. Either station.
This feels dangerous. Are you sure? The Sabatons dangle off the man's decaying form. Ageless, the cadaver slow. The hangman's knot is pulled tight.
Industrial strength. The kind used for tying cargo to lorries. Yes, it looks like they use whatever was on hand, paying no attention to not incriminating themselves. I'm still approaching this as a lynching, yes, motivated by the ongoing strike. You? Yes, it often is. This bell worries me. It's not merely polyester, it's steel reinforced. See these lines? This is where the wires run. I see rabbits for more than 20 strands. This makes getting him down much more problematic than I had assumed. A noose is one of those things that's easier to use one way around. I think they lassoed the branch, then pulled on the belt, buckle closes. It's what I would do. Seems easier than climbing.
Could be. The shape of the branch supports the theory. The cadaver hangs from the cargo belt. An intricate web of blue lines stretches across the torso, from the right shoulder to the solar plexus. Each time they intersect, a small white star is formed in their crossing. Hundreds of fading asterisks riddle his skin. Their concentration is highest. His corpse is marked by stars. Alcohol and heartbreak.
Of no nation that I know of. If anything, it reminds me of religious illumination, last or penultimate century. Men who live harsh lives often turn to inauthentic worship. I agree.
He wears a wide leather belt around his waist and a gun holster under. He takes a thin piece of milled aluminium from his coat pocket and pulls it open. Sounds like a sword being unsheathed. A small lens appears.
A Trigger Sunshine. Mini.
Shit, Kuno!
An instant color camera. I have only 2 ampoules, so nobody move. I don't want to waste one.
A sound, a shrill flash, followed by the breaking of a small ampoule of glass. You see streams of color pour onto the thick, glossy piece of paper, rolling out.
In case we need it. Yes, it is pretty cool, isn't it?
There is only one ampoule left.
It contains insight to the victim's person. By his build, I'd say this was a man of physical violence. The story he wanted his body to tell was important to him. It is his letter. To us. Someone should decipher it. We'll need to show it around. Sure. Just don't lose it.
The glassy-eyed corpse looks by, his mouth mute and his skin. His eyes are milky white and blind to the world. Protruding comically from this, dark brown hair grows on his head. His face is ready to explode from the organic processes inside. The death's head grin has passed. What remains is an unrecognizable mess.
I'm gone. I'm a joke. Look at me. There is nothing funny about jokes either. A killer. A motherfucker. Go ahead, Kobo. Into the wild pipe in the past. Way out west. What do you mean? It's the power of your... Go ahead. Ask me more questions. You fucking love questions because you're a copperoonie. Look at all of them go. Do you want more questions? Here you go, loony. Fuck no. You're no Rooney. No, you don't. That's right. Stupid, boring Harry. Because you have. Do I remind you of someone? No, not quite. Be fair now. You sure wrinkled out of that one, Coppolini. Come back later, Coppo. Amuse yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features. Of course. You come back later, Coppo.
Are you sure we finished the preliminary examination of the cadaver? We might miss some of these things once his...
The cadaver slowly twists on the cargo belt. As you narrow your eyes, the monster before you blurs into a violent, this is a trick. You've done it before. Pink is where the blood settled in the first hours post-mortem. You can use it to see if the corpse has been tampered with. Does his position at the time of death match the discoloration? Only the lower extremities are pink with a dash of blue. His fatted hands, thighs, and his neck, just above the noose. The rest of the corpse appears dark green in the cold spring air.
I see it. His neck too. The lividity goes right up his chin. We have good, well-pronounced.
The monster comes back into focus, an explosion of color, coursing with dark marbled veins. His stomach appears
So, what do you think? Agreed, especially on the neck. The belt acted like a tourniquet, keeping the blood in his head. The hypostasis supports a hanging. There's always a chance. We should check for ligament marks on his neck to see if they're in tune with the belt. We'll have to get him down first. I do. Most of them are post-mortem. Maybe even all of them. The delinquents have made our...
Stop talking. He means you fucked him up good, Kuno. Fucked him up.
I agree.
His personality is no longer a part.
Totally dead. That sounds about right, yes.
A pool of blood and feces has eaten into the frozen mud below the man's feet. Purge liquid is dripping into it.
The victim appears to have contained no more than half a kilogram of dead.
The fuck he said?
Talking about shit.
Maybe.
But there is no breath to catch. Only the cadaver filling the air. The material delicate and fragile. These are clearly not boots. They're armor.
Indeed. Ceramic plate. Zirconia under the heel.
The stench fills your nostrils. As you push downward,
Stop! Pig's gonna pull his head.
Brutal.
Even the mongrels can see you're about to...
Do it, homo.
pull his head off. There's no point performing an autopsy if you do. We'll have
Indeed. From this angle, it does look like the neck isn't going to take much more.
What are you trying to achieve anyway? Why are you hanging on to that boot? How many clues do you need? You already found a number. There's no way you're getting them off. All the organic matter in his body has been flowing down into the boots. They are fused to his feet.
You're sure there's a way to peel them off. But first, the body needs to be down. And second, it would probably be better if the lieutenant wasn't around. Alright then, you can pay the hostel bill in honor points. How many honor points have you collected? Of course there aren't. You still feel as though there might be some honor points, and if there are, you've surely earned one.
Processing will take care of them. With the situation in the morgue, it will yield nothing. But we must pick our fights. Should we continue?
The cadaver slowly twists on the cargo belt, his torso covered in...
The steel-reinforced belt presents a unique challenge. I brought chain cutters, but the cadaver is a good 1.2 meters up. Neither one of us can reach the belt without assistance. And even if we do, there's the question of cutting it. Climb up there and saw the branch? There has to be a less risky way, with less falling down of trees.
Yeah! Bang bang time, pig!
How?
Where the buckle ties the rope to the branch. That's a good spot to aim.
Where? Ah, yes, I see. If the shot hits that...
Yeah, now it's...
They'll miss! The pigs will miss, Kuno!
Silence. With it and produces a lightweight firearm. He drops a paper cartridge in the barrel, separates the scouring stick, and gives the cartridge 5 tucks, securing it in place. He then steps back and assumes the fellow's desk position, taking aim. The corner of his eye twitches. His finger is on the trigger.
He's gonna fucking...
The kid's voice is drowned in a shrill blast that echoes off the walls of the surrounding tenements. A cloud of smoke slowly parts.
God damn it.
He feels bad about it. About his eyes mostly. Just having bad eyesight. Probably from a young age. Whatever you do,
Fucking it!
Kuno could have hit it easy, but then Kuno's not fucking handicapped, is he?
No, we are lucky as it is. We didn't break anything, and the victim remains uncompromised. Any more mistakes could put us in an unfortunate position with the locals. We have eyes on us. I didn't do us any favors with that. I have to say, it's beginning to look unlikely we can get him down without assistance. It's bad as it is. Us shooting firearms. Go ahead. I'm not stopping you. Just don't lose it.
This is the sorriest...
Yeah, take it, you fucking banana pointer! Take it and shoot yourself in the mouth!
the cold piece of bakelite and gunmetal is surprisingly light. Your fingers fit right through the guard. Instinctive.
The fuck are you waiting for, Kuno?
The buckle comes into focus in your sights. You stand with your feet planted firmly in the ground and your left hand supporting your gun.
Why don't you just shoot yourself in your mouth? At least you won't miss.
Your field of view narrows. The branch slowly moves, becoming entirely two-dimensional. The slow movement of the branch in the wind and your shoulders direct and...
Look, he's crying. You gonna cry now? Or what? You gonna fuck me? You wanna fuck me, pig? Is that what this is? Do it! Set me free!
You feel as though it would be dangerous to set this creature free, to roam.
Don't.
Intense shit, copper.
Fucker waved his gun! It wasn't intense, it was pathetic!
A plume of smoke erupts from the barrel. Your hand goes numb from the... You missed the belt, but hit the corpse straight in the chest. Bits of ribcage protrude.
Oh my god, he's gonna fucking cry! I knew it! What a multiple!
I agree. Police work is overrated. It is trying and stressful.
It's not the gun's fault you can't shoot.
Pigs don't have hands, they're...
Kuno has hands. Kuno can shoot that shit down for you.
That's preposterous!
We still need to get him down, somehow. The bad way. The way I didn't want us to. By asking the harbor for help. They have the tools and the men. If they put him up there, they can take him down too. To ask the suspects for help with the victim's body? To be indebted to Everard Clare? Very much, yet clearly we can't.
Suck my dick, bitches!
Hooray for us.
The man before you is naked, but for a pair of underpants and white boots. His skin is marbled with decaying...
So you tried to kill Kuno's girl? What's up with that? You want to talk about it? What? Bitch! You fucking... Do this shit again, and Kuno's gonna climb in your room at night. Kuno knows where you sleep. The pig who fucked his window up. I'm gonna climb in through that balcony. But you and Kuno are good for now. Pals, shoot that shit at Kuno. Let's have a jolly time.
The determination in his voice leaves little room for doubt in his sincerity. He means every word. Needs to be taken seriously.
And you're back in business with the Kuno. Now what is it? Kuno doesn't...
Can't believe you didn't...
Her knuckles have turned white, holding on to that fence. She's been here for days, seething. The trash container stands in the spring snow. An intricate web of blue lines stretches across the torso of the hanged man. The pattern still kind of has an ethnic feel to it. But for you to discover, you've gotten as far as you will without gone.
Kuno care? Kuno, you oughta... Kuno thinks you're...
Kuno's!
Ease off, see? Don't be telling Kuno what Kuno can do. What else you want, Pigman? Kuno's... Shoot that shit at Kuno, Pig-o-Naught. The fuck do you want with it? Good call, Pigmeister. Don't come in... The fuck do you... Oh, that. Kuno decapitates pigs.
What?
What is this shit? Fucking on yourself. This...
Fuck your shit back to normal. What is this?
Well played. No one saw that coming.
It's a vitamin.
You could use some.
Okay, whatever. You fucking need that shit to stay on top of your...
Oh, don't teach him, Kuno!
You're not getting this, Pig. It completely...
Fuck you, Pig! Don't do mag! You're gonna OD!
Good call, Pigmeister. Don't come and talk the fuck about it. Kuno doesn't give a shit about the armor. Kuno's fuck gimp's got one big thing wrong with him. He's a fucking mutant. Look at him. Fucking growth hormone shit. He's a giant. The arm... Kuno doesn't give a shit about that freak armor. Kuno threw that shit away. Kuno tried to get the helmet on. It was too big. Kuno kicked that shit in the sea, rugby style. That shit means nothing to Kuno. Yeah, that shit means nothing to Kuno. Kuno doesn't give a shit about material shit. Kuno's a... You wanna fuck on someone about that armor? Go fuck the mustached union fuck. The jolly troubadour shit at the gates. Yeah, cock in boot. You know that jolly union cow fucker? Came around talking about cows or some shit? Came around pretending like he cares about cows?
Yes, you met him at the gates. The one with the boots and the jolly smile.
Yeah, he's the one you want to talk to. He's fucking crazy about that armor shit. Coming here pretending like he likes cows. Trying to catch a peep at Kuno's armor.
Yes, this troubadour has it. You can feel it.
Fuck are you talking about? What is this contour shot?
He says you're stupid, Kuno. They want to make you stupid again.
Oh, did Kuno make your shit sniffing harder? Obstruction of shit sniffing. This is Kuno's kingdom. Kuno fucking rules here.
You hear the lieutenant hum.
Kuno's fuck gimp. Kuno uses the fuck gimp for target practice. Probably climbed. Kuno was... You heard Kuno. Kuno wasn't... I don't... Mesk or I don't know. Kuno gives this info out on a need-to-know basis. And you don't need to know. Kuno, your test...
Get lost!
Kuno doesn't...
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone.
I have something here we could sell. Look in the back, in the suspect transport enclosure.
Transport enclosure. Regular people just call it the cage. The cage at the back of the motor carriage looks rather uncomfortable. 4 shiny hubcaps.
I confiscated this for a little while back. We can take them to the pawn shop down by the Martinez Canal. There are spinner hubcaps, frivolous things you put on your wheels. When the wheels come to a stop, the caps keep on spinning. There's no real use for them, it's just for vanity. A couple of weeks ago, I stopped a young man for going slower than the speed of traffic. Turns out he was some coalition official's son and high. I took them and arrested him for driving under the influence. I don't know. Is it? I was going to take them into evidence, but they weren't necessary for conviction. He never asked for them back. No, that would be silly. I don't know why I kept them. It doesn't matter. I couldn't put them on this MC anyway. A cop with spinners. That would be outrageous.
He flashes a smile, barely visible in the dark.
As I said, they're useless anyway. I should have remembered I have the...
But thank you.
Yes, there's one 100 meters south of here. I think it's called Roy's Nest or something. If I'm not mistaken, it should be open late.
The lieutenant nods as you take the spinners. So we've been monitoring you internally, and now we know your Copo type. Yes, guess what's yours? No, you're the sorry cop. The cop who's sorry. Huge lack of enthusiasm going on in here. What? Jealous of the sorry cop? They'll be super fine. It'll be totally okay. You can dual Copo type from sorry to anything. Oh, you know, Apocalypse, Superstellar, the advanced interesting cop, liquid shadow cop. But you're too sorry to say those things. So, here we go. No, you don't. Come on. You'll be back to saying sorry in 2 minutes. Stop wasting time. Of course you are. It's okay. See if you can get something out of this, like info. Or that won't happen. A couple of indicator lights are missing from this control panel. Loose wires dangle from This panel usually closes the water lock, turning it into a bridge that lets you cross the canal. But there's a crashed salmon and butter sign in the way. Pulling the lever, you pull the lever all the way up until the metal... Nothing happens. The spring brings the lever back to its original position. You still need to close the wall. Wasn't there a sign over there saying functionality will be restored on... very large red t-shirt with an impressive print stands out from the other guy. Oh yeah, the print depicts a muscled man striding toward you, a giant sword in each hand, encircled by burning embers. Behind him is a cluster of cabins engulfed in flames. Beneath him are the what smells like worn cotton and a little old sweat there. Worn cotton with a side of flea market or trash bin.
Sniffing is okay, but please don't try anything on. Can't.
You're not imagining it. Photon emissions? What is he?
It's the man from Hen.
Walking away from his burning village.
Their matter-of-fact tone belies their surprise at the fact that you didn't recognize the figure in the print.
The man from Yelmdale is the hero of a series of popular books. In fact, most people don't think that man from Yelmdale ever...
Hendal isn't a real place.
Neither is the man a real man, of course. But both the man and Yelmdale are... I mean, even if the man from Yelmdale didn't exist before...
Okay.
You sound skeptical. It's not that complicated. All that's required is a more robust... Besides, I've been to Kotla, though not quite as far north as the Helmdal, and watched Northern Light.
His theory isn't exactly incoherent, but its logic does suggest very, very unique energies indeed. Geomagnetic ley lines, one might even say.
2 real.
That's dirt cheap.
But why? I sympathize, I do, but this is a for-profit enterprise.
A typical Martinez streetlight sits among assorted floor and table lamps.
Yes, officer.
His manner is casual, but his speech is careful, measured. He wants you to know that he has nothing to hide.
It was brought to me to be...
We are not here to investigate the theft of city property. You have to admit it's rather clever what he's done with it.
700 real. A bargain, I dare say. There's also the matter of rewiring, but the most important transformation is the light's placement among ordinary indoor fixtures, which has adjusted.
The light pole has been carefully cut, and the wiring has been redone and attached to a standard indoor plug. This would make quite a statement in your living room. The boomboxes on the shelf look well-loved and well-traveled, chipped, dented. One especially catches your eye. Deep gold and amber plastic with a big old handle on it. This is you. Gold or not, just make sure it works before you buy it.
If police work means playing tapes, sure, you can use it for that. Or any other time you'd need to play a tape. Absolutely. I've tested each one myself with recordings of speech, found sounds and music from a variety of genres, even though I don't really like music. Is the Harman Welsh W2, made in Vespa, designed in Seoul, plays all reel-to-reel formats, 2mm.
You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the trinkets displayed on the table. Some on horseback, others in rags, others yet in bright blue uniforms. All are stern and unyielding in their duty. Try to find something pretty and cool here, then use it to win her back. Yes. Buy something nice. A figurine. Everything you pick out seems faded, chipped, and sad somehow. Most of them are just broken toys. Big men on big horses, clad in lamella armor and carrying flintlocks, the kind that would mow down a line of enemy soldiers in the blink of an eye.
Franco-Nigerian knight.
A long, long time ago. They're not all blue. These figurines also wear gold coats and caps, complemented by orange trousers. They are variously posed, wielding swords and rifles with bayonets.
This is what the loyalists looked like, yes, at first. Then they wised up and got camouflage.
Which ones? Ah, those. Yes, they are. I find the...
This set of soldiers isn't meant to look impressive. A few have rifles, but most of them carry pistols.
You're probably talking about the revolutionaries, yes? Yes, they are soldiers, revolutionary soldiers. I think their poverty has been exaggerated for effect. When you place them next to the royalists, it doesn't seem like they could possibly win. Maybe. It's not often that I say, what can I do for...
His courtesy is not insincere, but he prefers being alone with his projector, just watching the movement of light.
Oh no, not at all. I guess I haven't had many...
Who are your customers?
All kinds of people come through here. Locals, travelers. As you can see, I have a wide selection of goods for everyone to choose from. It keeps me entertained.
Entertained? He might be high. If he is, on what? Feeling warm and enthralled by the movement of light, while the mind continues to race forward. Lucky bastard. He's probably on Prolidon. It's a drug developed by the military to treat and prevent radiation sickness. It has psychedelic side effects, and it makes your eyes turn yellow.
I try to keep the shop at a comfortable temperature.
There's a note of indignation in his voice. Interesting.
I've had to take it. You know, since the People's Pile cleanup.
He's taken for mental and emotional, not physical pain these days.
A bad idea. Some poor leftist built a particle decay generator in hopes of bringing affordable electricity to underserved communities. It malfunctioned. Radioactive waste everywhere. Probably some of it in you too. We were an all-volunteer force. Self-organized. Tried to help the fire brigades contain the spill.
On the patch, gamma radiation lines crossed with a red.
I lived by the river since I was a small boy. The Esperance didn't have the art to let it all go. There wasn't much the volunteer force could do, however. We wasted years in the river mud. Years getting sick. There's a reason why everyone's tried to forget any of it ever happened. And why so much disappointment and early deaths. Cancer mostly. And we knew all that was coming. No one's. Everyone's.
So much bitter.
A bunch of poor people built themselves a primitive nuclear reactor, hoping for the best. What do you think is going to happen? The cleanup happened 15 years ago. I was young then. Later, my second aunt, so I came to Martinez. People told me don't go there. It's a shithole. I said, people, we just had a nuclear pile meltdown. I'm gonna get as far off. I like the theory more than the story.
Yeah, you gotta get in on those vortices, my man.
Yes, we'd like to sell these hubcaps.
Roy takes the hubcaps from the lieutenant and...
Yes, these are very, very good. Did you defraud some foreign prince for them?
No one was defrauded or jumped, I assure you.
Of course. I meant no offense.
Thank you. Here's the 130 real you need for your bill. Do not waste it.
The windfall is a small consolation.
Anything else you're thinking of selling? Anything else you're thinking of selling? I'm not purchasing any more clothing at the moment. Another time, perhaps. Someone else came here earlier today asking the same question. I promptly sold her the gun you pawned a couple days.
The lieutenant shifts from one foot to another, alert.
You were adamant about getting rid of it, officer. Said you were undeserving of a service weapon of the Revachol citizen, and I don't like keeping guns around the shop for long. Off the charts photon emissions.
He's not telling you the whole story. It seems he's trying to spare you.
She didn't seem like a policeman, although she kept referring to herself as a pig, which was odd. I found her interest in the gun a bit obsessive, truth be told.
Right, so let me get this right. You sold your sidearm, issued by the citizens' militia, and now a civilian is running around the streets of Martinez?
Miraculously, his face does not reveal what's happening inside.
You're right that she could cast aspersions on the force. We have to find her.
Maybe. Shady-looking guys came in here yesterday, looking like they'd just taken off their Wild Pines overalls. They asked if I have a... They went their way. It was a trip. But
maybe Claire really is tracking down your gun.
My apologies, officer. but I have no idea where she would.
A needle in a haystack. There is nothing you can do about it right now. You just have to hope Everard wasn't lying, and the Union can track her down in time.
She didn't, truth be told.
Right, so
Miraculously.
it's possible in these parts of town. We ought to find her and discourage her from taking justice into her own hands.
Of course. I doubt it, but I can try and answer any questions you may have. The corpse behind the hostel, I assume. I don't have a truck with a mounted Ask around the harbour. There might be some workers there who'd be willing to help. I do my best to keep my distance from all manner of butchery. Bad for business. Bad for
The pawnbroker's gaze is already fixed on the dancing colors.
Sure thing. Sure, man.
Can I help you? Yes. Have you got it? Well? Great. Thank you, officer. That's all I wanted. Payment for services rendered. If you continue to stay here, I just ask that you please pay your nightly bill in the electronic lock to your room has been disabled till 9 p.m. tomorrow. Please pay for each night in advance starting tomorrow. 20 real per night.
I'll take a room here too.
Of course. Always happy to have officers from the RCM as guests. Anything else I can do? Another thing. Great. I love those. Yes?
The door is closed. This is the door to the room you read.
Just a moment. We should talk about our progress on the investigation.
The air outside is brisk. The lieutenant is silent for a moment. He listens to the traffic hum. Then,
Now then, we should talk about the investigation. But I also feel you're a bit hazy on the RCM. Our role here, our rights, our jurisdiction, basically. I have a cigarette every night when I go over my notes. It's something of a ritual.
Oh man, he looks so devastatingly cool with that cigarette.
Yes, it's been a long and eventful day. They're quite limited, actually. The power officers of the Rebachol Citizens Militia exercise most frequently is imposing fines of up to 1,000 real for offenses, in accordance with an interdepartmental schedule. Yes, although indirectly, as citizens can always request records from their local station. Officers of the RCM have been known to take bribes of less than the prescribed fine amount. It undermines trust in the RCM. The RCM's primary role is to ensure safety. We are not really supposed to play any part in the... We can arrest people, of course, but rather than bringing someone in directly, it's preferable to serve the station closely. It prevents confusion and overcrowding. You can't. Those who don't show up become fugitives, though, and have fewer legal rights when they are eventually caught. It's about power projection. Thus far, they seem to mostly show. As you may have gathered from the fact that we are expected to carry a record of our kills, like the one in the waterworks, we are permitted to use whatever force is necessary, and strongly admonished not to abuse that power. You have to supply compelling evidence for why it was necessary to use lethal force. In these cases, not a good position to be in, by the way. Internal Affairs handles these cases thoroughly, by cross-examining you for inconsistencies. It is hard to cover for anyone, which is for the best. We don't convict. We arrest and send them to coalition government courts in Courron and La Delta. The prosecution works off our testimonies and records, which is why it's paramount to keep them. The coalition government and the moral intern more broadly. The RCM was formed by the coalition government to restore order in the international zone after the revolution. So we did. Now we attempt to maintain that order. No more, no less. Or perhaps it is better to say we were allowed to form. It's a point of contention whether the citizens of Rebachol or the coalition government founded the RCM. Silence. A great comment to such a conundrum. The Moralist International are the world's largest political organization. You know who they are. They have been running this place after the revolution failed. They are a union of center-left and center-right parties across the Real Belt. Our coalition government is just one of its many projects. They also run the ICP, EPIS, most intergovernmental organizations in the world. What do they believe in? They are Dolorians. They believe they continue the humanist project set forth by Her Innocence Dolores Day 4 centuries ago. Others say they are just technocrats. Interesting question. It's a blue forget-me-not. Their motto is love, compassion, self-discipline. I think you can gauge what they want you to think of them from that.
Something kind and usual. Something ominous. Something even a little feminine. Something like the dark blue, serious color of the early night sky above.
A historic figure? The author of the modern age? You will have to look elsewhere for opinions. The subject of humanism is too abstract for me. The moral intern are a fact. I try not to have opinions on facts until they change. And it doesn't look like that's about to happen.
It is more than that. There's some kind of affection in him.
Yes, I did, when I was younger. In my 20s, I considered myself a moralist. A blue forget-me-not, a piece of the sky. But the years have changed that. I don't know what I believe in now. No, I believe in the RCM. That's enough for me. Do you? My kind of police officer.
The lights of the orphan district are reflected in his glasses. The red and golden orbs of the motorway sliding like pearls on a string from east to west as Revachol commutes back to the sub.
Well, we inspected the victim's body, so that's good. I would say our initial inspection was very thorough, and we have solid leads to Then you shot him in the chest, which wasn't ideal, and we still have to get him down from the tree. Being sober tends to help with precision. We conducted an interview with Everard Clare. He wasn't particularly forthcoming with useful information, however. Claire also helped you, how should I say, remember your name? That's a relief. That's normal. It's best not to... We didn't talk to the Wild Pines rep. We really must do that tomorrow. Above all, though, today was exhausting. What's with all the running? You run a lot. Is that a standard Precinct 41 practice?
I have a really good theory about why you're running so fast, son. Just you wait until we get up tomorrow.
It's impressive, especially for a man your age. And in those heels. Nice shoes, by the way. I like the green. Goes with the orange.
The dying lights of the city shimmer below. Slowly, like luminous clouds, they part. This soldier is the highlight of the day for me, he thinks. This little stick right here. An aerostatic passes overhead, the whiskers of its floodlights on the ground below. Kitsurag's glasses light up as he looks to the sky.
They really don't like us here. And the mouth on that kid, Kuno. It's different inland, in Jamrock and the GRIH. It's our fault for leaving this place to the dogs, to the Union, to the company, not daring to come here more often. This place has fallen between the cracks, the jurisdictions of our two precincts. We run this city. West of the river is RCM land. It's incredibly hard. Human beings are... But we are in control, and it's worth it. The organization works, our systems work. If they didn't, the city would disintegrate. Me too. But I wouldn't count on any drastic changes in our lifetimes.
He is very tired, but the dark circles under his eyes make him look younger, not older.
Yeah, it's getting very cold now. Let's go. Yes?
The bed is cold and not. The sheets feel at once coarse and clammy against your skin. The bed sags beneath your weight as you stretch out and finally close your eyes. And then sleep doesn't come. And then sleep doesn't come. Maybe it's the bed's fault. Its synthetic filling has separated into hard lumps, smells of alcohol and sweat, and grease. It barely covers your toes, stretching over your soft belly. This is your body here, intimate and warm. Under your thrumming eyelids, you see a dizzying array of colors. You won't get off this carousel. Quite. It's a little better. Colors, scenes, and half-formed phrases still litter your mind. Part of you is still trying to solve the case, isn't it? Something to do with, what was it that the lieutenant said? Union? And it's gone again. Your breathing steadies. A great silence washes over you until your eyelids twitch in your sleep.